Anyway, guys, welcome to the Backlog podcast number 64. I'm Matt.
Quintessence.
Phil, of course.
Ups.
Guys, and today we're going to be talking about MK1. We're going to be doing our big review on the game. So, out of curiosity, and I don't know who wants to go first, what was your guys' experience with MK1 so far? Phil, you want to go first? Oh, you want to go first? Okay, go ahead.
No,
Yeah,
Phil can start. I don't know. Everyone's quiet. So
Quintessence can go first. I actually,
my experience is
watched
bugs,
Quintessence go first.
bugs and bugs and bugs on top of bugs.
Okay.
I ended up playing the PlayStation version that a buddy bought because I wasn't completely sold on the game, and I didn't regret not buying the game. Let's just kind of put it that way. There's so many weird bugs. Like, I was just practicing like combos in practice mode, for example, and things just didn't work. Like, sometimes my cameo wouldn't come out, or combos just wouldn't connect, and then they would connect another time, and I'd be doing like the same exact thing. Like, it was just dropping inputs or something. I don't really understand. But the story mode is fun. I'll give it that.
Yeah, for sure. I know definitely with the bugs, like there have been a lot of like weird things, and obviously infamously the player 2 bug, which is pretty absurd. But I mean,
I encountered that immediately.
I know on the PS5 version, I was encountering with a friend, like he would do, I don't know if it was like smokes, or no, he would like have an assist come in, and the assist would like push off screen, so the camera was, so you weren't seeing what was, the assist would come in because like the camera would pan over for the assist or whatever, and the assist would do the attack off screen and the camera would reset. And there was like other things like audio bugs where the voices became out of sync and sort of things like that. So yeah, there was a lot of like little weird stuff, definitely at launch. Phil, what did you have a kind of like experience with any bugs whatsoever here?
A few. I didn't know about the player 1 bug until I uninstalled the game. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Wow.
My initial experience with it was great. Like Quintessence said, dude, the story mode was awesome. It was the first thing I did. I ordered some Chinese food. I came home and I just went right through the full entire story. And I have zero issues there. NRS kills it when it comes to that kind of stuff. Their like engagement with story and all that kind of stuff, I thought is great. I know some people complain about the whole, like, everyone's copying Marvel, you know what I mean, with like the timelines and stuff, but like, I don't care about that stuff. To me, it's still cool. A lot of cool callbacks to the 3D era, which was really nice, and that kind of stuff. Like, I'm gonna be honest, there's a spoiler alert for anyone that's there. They kill off the combat kids at one point, and I don't like that. I like the combat kids. I'll be honest. I'm someone who supports them. I didn't like that part, but overall, I think the story was good. Load times, that was one thing I noticed, and I'm not saying I have the best computer in the world, but I have a pretty like up-to-date computer. Load times were kind of crazy.
Yeah, they're long.
I remember that was one thing that was definitely a big issue to me. Like I remember, this is just a story mode. I remember there was one point where I was waiting for a fight, and you hear the, and they start talking. I'm like, what is happening? It's a little bit too long. And that's not just there. It was just the whole game at launch. It was just rough. It was definitely a rough launch.
Ops, what was your kind of like initial experience with the game?
So surprisingly enough, I actually didn't have that many bugs, but I do have a newer computer. I can tell you the competitive experience. I'm not really much of a, I'm sure Phil could probably tell you, I'm not really much of a kind of casual when it comes to I won't play the story mode, right? So like I don't even think I played through MK11 story mode. I only played through part of it to get Frost. So like I go straight into ranked, I grind practice mode, those are the kind of things that I could probably give you more information on.
Yeah.
What I can tell you right off the bat is that MK1, I keep mixing.
So you
those
just
two.
added a 1. It's okay. It's not that.
Yeah, but MK1 is a competitive mess. I can tell you that off the bat. There's a lot of issues with the game. Yeah, there's a lot. Let me think of a bug one. There's the Shao one where he loses his axe entirely. I don't know if you guys have heard about that. If you use a Shujinko, if you use a Shujinko assist, he loses. He literally can't use his axe anymore. It doesn't go away from the ground. Like he just loses it.
Shujinko steals his axe and just.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, like there's other bugs. There's other bugs too that cause it too, where he literally can't use his axe. So, I mean, that's a start of like some of the issues that the game has.
They're always keeping them down.
But yeah, I'll probably save my input until like we kind of get really into the gameplay though, because like there's so many things I could talk about that like it becomes really interesting really fast. So put it that way.
I'll put it to you this way as well. Like something that kind of like, and this might be a part of your problem, Phil, and I don't know for sure. But are you using Are you using an SSD with this game?
Yes.
Me?
Oh. Well, I mean, Phil, because Phil was saying he had performance issues.
Yeah, it's on. That is being used on an SSD. It's my main hard drive.
Okay, so when because I have like external storage here, like I've got like 4 hard drives like set up to go. I took it because just to save space on my C drive, I threw it on a hard drive, to save space because it's 90 gigs, right? So I put it on a hard drive and it did not work well at all. Load times were horrible. Like it would take like, it would have very, very long load times. Like when the clash would happen, sometimes you would get a black screen and you just had to wait. Like anytime it had to load anything, it was too slow. So I actually had to move it back to my C drive for it to work properly. Once I moved back to the C drive, it was fine. But performance initially had tons of like graphical issues, weird stuff was happening. I thought it was like my PC, but no, it's literally whether you have an SSD or a hard drive. At least for me, I can say that.
Does the PS5 use a SSD?
I think it uses a what are the M8
M.2.
M.2.
Oh, it uses an M.2. Oh, okay, yeah, that is probably 100% why then. That's probably why there's some performance issues with hard drives then, because it's probably optimized for the SD M.2.
So like M.2 has like slightly better performance than SSDs do, but I think really what I'm trying to say is like with PC, my general point is there's so many varied hardware that someone could have that could very easily make a terrible experience for someone on PC. You know what I mean? And without that person knowing, because there's nowhere it says use an SSD, use an M.2 drive. It doesn't. So someone who's like, they're a casual player, they could pick up MK1 and very easily ruin their day and their experience with this game and be like, why did I buy this? This game. But yeah, like the PS5 version, it overall consoles, from what I hear, perform a lot better.
I've said in one of my videos, and I've talked to some people that are enjoying and loving the game right now. If you bought it on Xbox or PlayStation, it sounds like you have a tolerable game. If you bought it on PC or the Switch, you have a lot of dead weight on your computer right now.
Yeah,
the Switch
kind of sucks.
Oh.
To be fair, I knew that when they said they were going to do the Switch again, I knew we were going to go down this road of, oh my God, look at them. It looks like clay fighters. I knew that was going to happen. And that's what you get on the Switch. Like, I don't really have any sympathy for it. I also don't have sympathy for the idea that we just don't have like, all of them, like lobbies don't work. Like, King of the Hill, random King of the Hill just doesn't work on PC.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, just like it doesn't make sense to me. You are a AAA game where your last game that apparently people thought was bad sold 15 million copies.
Yeah.
So you guys made the money.
Mm-hmm.
It still doesn't work. I think the game was rushed out. Like massively rushed out.
Yeah.
This game needed like a good year in the oven still, just to get rid of
You can
bugs.
see that by just like the roster. Like we didn't get a very big roster. Like there's still a whole bunch of errors. Like in the story mode, for example, if you have like subtitles on, there's a bunch of lines while playing the story mode that just like come across like MK-1 Sindel language, and it's like
Dialogue.
what?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that really bothered me in that like the game was not finished was they were pushing the DLC pack to us already before we knew the full roster of the game. That not only is kind of lame, it's kind of an insult to the fans. like I obviously know I ran a tournament. Ops right here got second place.
Hey.
Hey.
And I actually feel bad about it because it did this thing where like if you were on the second player like mode, you had a clear disadvantage like when we were running the tournament. You know what I mean? And so here's the thing: if you won second game, if you were on player 2 and you won, you got moved to player 1. So if you were a second player and you won, you automatically got moved to the good side.
Oh, you had the
player
priority.
1. Yeah, you got priority. So like now no one knew like that certain combos were being dropped or whatever. Obviously no one knew and stuff. But like that is a clear bug. That why are you switching sides? That I know that happens in like Smash Bros. If it literally says move to the top, but you have to use King of the Hill to like run lobbies and stuff. And lobbies are the way at the end we finally figured it out, where if someone didn't join the match within the 60 seconds, it would not load. So like you had to invite people through Steam, and that means both MKs need to be loaded up because most people were loading up right when they were getting invited, so the game would work. Yeah. And if it didn't happen within 60 seconds, I had to repeat it. It took us like 4 hours to run a bracket. It was absolutely brutal. And I'm competitively, I installed the game. I spent like an hour labbing Sindel, and I actually genuinely liked the gameplay. I actually had a lot of fun playing and learning the characters and stuff. But I was so burnt from the tournament, I literally just uninstalled it.
Yeah.
So, it sucks because I actually enjoyed it. Some of the combos are really cool. I like the way some of the characters are now. Like lore wise, awesome. You know what I mean? The way we can all talk how awesome Reptile looks, right? Reptile is super badass now. But like and that kind of stuff I love the way the characters look, but like everything else about the game just it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
Still has that MK jank animations.
And to kind of like add to the King of the Hill thing, I was playing lobbies earlier this week on PC, and I was trying to get so King of the Hill is now active. You can now try to use it, but asterisks there. I could not invite 2 people to that lobby. I could not get it works. I could invite 1 person at a time. I could not get 2 people. To be fair, one of those people is using an HDD as their hard drive, and I just berate him now because I'm like, you have an SSD, why are you still using this? And he's like, I just haven't done it yet. And I don't know, it doesn't matter. But either way, the King of the Hill was just not working still. And we were getting some black screens, and even the game was kind of crashing at times. So I kind of like did have lots of performance issues, but also I personally had hardware issues. But again, that's still not an excuse. The game should still work with the varied, issues, the hardware issues that it has. Just because we're in a more modern era using faster hard drives, that's again, why is NRS still having these issues with PC? I don't understand.
Well, I was gonna say that they don't. They didn't have those problems in MK11.
No,
I know they didn't.
On release, they did for the Ultimate Pack. They had a lot of problems for the release of the Ultimate Pack on PC. They had a lot of problems in MK11.
I know they had a lot of problems with when they eventually did crossplay. But I remember joining a MK11 bracket, and this was like last year, and and had zero issues. The lobby systems there were not a problem at all. And like that's an older game, and then they released this. It seemed kind of.
Oh gosh, you guys are gonna love this stuff. There's a lot of things they've reverted back to that are related to. Yeah, they're using some old system. They're using some sort of old engine. I can tell you that off the bat, because there's some things that they changed in 11 that are just gone. It's like they took MKX or they took MK9, they took that template, and they put it back into MK1. I have no idea why.
What?
Yeah. Like for example, the block button. The block button's a good example. They've reverted how you reversal out of the block button. Because they had 3 frames of, it was like 3 frames of buffer window when you go to exit the block button and press a normal. But now it's back to MKX and before, where now when you try to exit the block button, you almost have to do a frame perfect.
Yeah, I was having that issue too.
It's so annoying.
Yeah,
they fixed it in 11. They literally, because we had complaints about that in 11. At the beginning of 11, they had it like MKX, and they fixed it. They added the 3 frames of buffer window in one of the patches.
Yeah, it was clean.
Yeah, and it was clean to exit the block button, and now we're back in the same MK. Like I don't know why they did that. I have no idea why they went back, like to MKX, where no one could exit out a block stun correctly.
Yeah,
like it's just.
Another way they went back is customization. How do we have less customization? Like as a fun casual that likes to dress up my characters and make them all cool and pick different weapons and stuff like that. How do we have less options in the new game than we did in the previous game? I don't get it, man.
Everyone made fun of Injustice, but like
now you get one accessory.
Superman look like whatever I wanted. So, like my Sub-Zero looks like the one Sub-Zero they have. And also, they don't have classic costumes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, that's a huge L. Like, you don't have your classic costumes right off the bat. Like, how? Like, that doesn't.
Coming soon for $20.
That's kind of a low price for NRS.
True.
You hear that you can buy all the cameos. Instead of going to unlock them, you can just buy them for half the price of the game. You can do that too. Yeah.
I'm in.
Oh wow.
It's this, like in NRS, it has a history, to be fair, and like I love this company because they've made some of my all-time favorite games, but they have a history of being told by their papa company to make money, and at the end of the day, that's what it is. And they need to find ways to monetize, and that's why they have to change the games every time. Yeah. You go back all the way to MK9 to MKX, to Injustice 1 to Injustice 2 to MK11 to MK1. You look at all of them; they all have very kind of interesting ways and different ways to monetize. You know what I mean? All the way back in MK, I think it was MKX, you could pay for fatalities.
Yes.
You gotta pay for fatalities. Go ahead.
So when you say pay for fatalities, is that like the fatality tokens that they have?
Yes.
Where it's like easy input fatalities.
Yeah.
In Injustice, they had loot boxes, which everyone lost their minds over. In MK11, they constantly rotated, which honestly, I actually like the way MK11 did it, if I'm going to be honest. The way they rotated the costumes. Like, there was a store. Honestly, I'm totally okay with that. That's actually like most other live services have some type of rotating thing. You know what I mean? That's fine. That was all cosmetic. It didn't buff your character, if I'm correct. Right? Ops didn't buff your character.
No.
Yeah,
they didn't have anything like that.
Like, that makes sense. Now in MK1, they're like, hey, you know how you hate unlocking things? Here, you just spend more money. It makes it easier. It's super shady. And also, let's not even get started on the pre-order bonus. You want to talk about the thing I hate most in all fighting games is a pre-order bonus. You know the character that you get to play in the game in the story mode? You can't play them. You have to either buy the game early or you have to buy them privately. When I was playing the story and I saw that Shang Tsung was one of the players, I was like, this is a fucking joke.
Pre-order to get Shang Tsung.
I'm like, are you serious? And also, we had to buy him last game! He was DLC last game, too! What the hell? It doesn't make any sense! Oh!
I I mean, you could probably also get into no, it's fine because it's the same issue with like Quan Chi and Ermac. It's literally the same problem because they're playable. Like you play against them in the game.
Yeah.
Like that means that they are available somehow. So they're in there, but they're like no. We add them to the 5-person combat pack, and it's like so three of those characters like a pre-order, and then out of the characters out of the combat pack are really already in the game, and we're just not getting them because fuck you, pay me money. That's why.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of people are talking about like how Jade's the new Melina. Like everyone screamed about bringing Melina back in MK11. I was one of them. I'll be honest, I wanted Melina back, but now it's Jade. And they're intentionally not putting her in the combat pack 1. They're gonna do it in the next one. They want people to make. They want that. They want that.
I'm a Jade main.
In the next one.
Where's my
girl? I was
girl?
a Jade main in MK11 too.
Where's my
girl? And like this is coming from me. Like I only got serious like in Injustice 2 competitively. I didn't get competitive in MK11, and like Ops can definitely help me out here. But like, I feel like if they're pushing the Combat League right now super hard. I don't know if you guys know the Combat League is like the NRS, like teaming up, like trying to, like, it's embarrassing to even run it right now when the game is in such a state. Like, I've been watching combo videos of like 90%, like one hit with 90%, and I'm like, like if I was a new player, I'm like, well, that just happened to me. Uninstall. I'm gonna go back to playing Call of Duty. Like that's exactly what's gonna happen. Like, when Dr. Disrespect is screaming, this character is busted all over online right now. Like it's an example of like even the big streamers know that it's kind of ridiculous.
So wait, would he say okay? And no offense to him, but I kind of like I'm like, well, he's just some Call of Duty guy or some shooter guy, right? But what he's saying is legitimate, right? Is what you're saying? Like he has an actual point as someone who is sort of more of a.
I think he could have just been getting rocked, and I don't know, but like. He was facing a Baraka, I believe. I don't even know who's good in the game right now. I seriously couldn't tell you.
I actually think Baraka is, yeah.
Baraka Cyrax is one of the best characters in the game right now.
That's the meta right now.
Baraka Cyrax, Raiden Cyrax, Raiden Jax, and the third one's probably Ashra, maybe.
You can also run Shijinko if you've like labbed the shit out of everything.
Like that kind of stuff right there is like if not good press. And also here's another thing, Mortal Kombat is everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Like I like now I'm in the fighting game pulse. You know what I mean? Like I'm everywhere in that stuff. So like every single one of my feeds has it everywhere. But it's in everything. We have Batista freaking screaming it at the top of his lungs. We have Megan Fox talking about it in the news. We have TikTok partners with verified accounts all over promoting the game.
Yeah.
It is the I don't know if you watched the new Scott Pilgrim TV series that's coming out. They announced the trailer today. Guess what the background theme song is?
Mortal Kombat.
No.
It's the original Mortal Kombat theme. They know what they're doing. So it doesn't matter if the game is shitty right now. It's gonna sell buco numbers. And I've been saying this since I when the argument if it's gonna win fighting game of the year. This game is gonna do phenomenal simply because of it's everywhere.
Marketing. Yeah.
It's Mortal Kombat. It's the casual fighter.
Brand recognition.
Everyone buys Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, the game's a mess right now, and it's gonna sell great. Warner Brothers is like, great, make the next one. I don't care how long it takes.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I do care. Get it done in 5 weeks. Let's release the next game immediately instead of doing DLC. No DLC Pack 2. Just we're gonna do Mortal Kombat 1.5. And in fact, make sure every time they press the start button, we charge them 10 cents. That's what we'll do for the next game. And that's how I hate it. I just want a good game, and I was hoping for such a good game because I like the combo system. I was labbing with Sindel, and I was really enjoying it, but just everything else just made it bad to me. Like I don't know. Ops competitive wise, like, do you like the feel of the game?
Hell no.
Cyrax Baraka exists.
I can get it. Yeah, well, that's already a problem because so I am going to give you a story. So I was playing against this guy that I play against him in MK11. He doesn't take a game off me. in MK11. We might take it maybe 1 or 2 games out of like a first to 20, right? And I was playing against his Raiden. Was he playing Raiden Jax or Raiden? He was playing Raiden Cyrex, right? And he's doing this block string, right? Raiden has this block string that's long as hell, does a bunch of chip. You can flawless block it to prevent you from taking the chip, but it's like 10% chip. It's really dumb. It's MK9 levels of dumb. Like that's how dumb this game is. Like there's things like that. And I'm playing Katana Jax, and Katana actually has an armor move that's an armor launcher, so she can hit him for like 26, 27% if you make the right read. I literally armor launched him every single time he did the string, and the one time that he did something different, I got hit for 50%. So I'm sitting here making the read. I'm making the right read every single time, punishing him every single time, like outsmarting him every single time. But he's playing Raiden Cyrex, so he hits me for 50. It's so dumb. Like it's just, it doesn't, it's like because I beat him, I won the majority of the set, but it made me want to turn the game off. After I didn't want to play. I was like, I played a first to 15 with him. And then I literally like left the game. I literally exit the application and I just typed good games. I was like, dude, I'm done. I don't want, because it's so for me, compared to MK11, it's so brain dead what you have to do to win. Because I'm sitting here blocking a block string, armoring through it every time, punishing him every single time, making the right read every single time. And it's just boring. It's like, is he going to armor or is he not going to armor? Oh, he's not going to armor. All right, let's do the block string again. Oh, is he going to armor or is he not going to? Oh, he armored this time. I guess I got to block next time. Like, it's just like, it's so, there's no mind, like the mind game is so, it's so like toned down. It's so like, what's the right word? Like, it's like,
brain dead? You think it's
brain dead? Yeah, it's like, so, because it's like you only have one option. You know what I mean? And it's not like that, because I want to stress this again, because MK11 had this issue too, where there were some matchups where it's just like you have one option. Oh, you didn't do that option, I guess you're dead. You know what I mean? And I feel like MK1 is kind of like that also. There are some matchups that are actually fun to play. Like I like playing Katana versus what's his name? Trying to think. Katana versus Liu Kang. You know, I like that matchup. Like, there's certain matchups like that take like footsies and kind of neutral, you know, back and forth between players. But there's other matchups where it's just like, oh, he hit me for 50% because I made one mistake. I guess I die. Like, I don't have breaker. I guess it's over. I guess the game's over. You know, and that's kind of like not fun. It's just, I don't know what NRS can do to fix that. Like, I don't know if it's like you know, maybe make the block string have another gap, or like make the cooldown on the assist, because assists are ridiculous. Make the cooldown on the assist longer. You know, I don't know what the solution is. I just know that it's boring when I'm making the right read against someone and I'm like out footseeing him and everything, and then he just hits me once for 50.
Yeah.
Maybe add
like,
another
it's just
frame
like,
to the flawless block.
Like, what do you mean?
Like another frame of leniency to the flawless block, kind of like.
Well, flawless block's
make
not
it,
the problem. The problem is a lot of people, what they're doing right now is they're doing something into a, like, it might have a gap, and your only option really is to armor through the gap, or you take 15% chip. You can flawless block it, but then you just get put back in the same situation, because the assist meter goes back. Like, they'll use the assist meter, it'll go up, then they'll do another block string, and the assist meter is going up as they're doing the block string, and then they go back in to the assist again. So you have to armor through, or you just sit there and block forever.
So maybe, like, and this is just kind of throwing this idea out there, instead of using 3 bars of meter for your get off me, you just have like alpha counters where it uses a single bar each time. So you have like 3 each time, which is just like makes it more so like, hey, get off of me, and it kind of pushes them away a little bit. You know what I mean? That's the only kind of thing I could think of that would kind of close the gap in that situation. And then obviously, yeah, like the assists are definitely an issue where it's like right now, why is everybody using these specific assists? Well, because the reload time on using them is ridiculous. Like Kung Lao, right? Like you can just almost spam his like low throwing disc to the point where it's like you throw one, you throw another, and then you already almost have another one by the time he's done. You know what I mean? That sort of thing, where it just feels like, I don't know. It's like the Serena situation, right? She throws 4 projectiles. It's more really, that's why everyone's using her, right? It feels like that's kind of more an issue, is like maybe slow down the recovery time on the assists, but then maybe also like at what point are you like over tuning a game and then, you know, kind of taking away the BS, like, I don't know, do you guys find the BS of the game fun, or do you want it to, like, how could you see like fixing it in the right direction, out of curiosity?
I would definitely say that a lot of the, like, things like Serena assists, they need to have long cooldowns. Yeah, I would definitely, because the thing is, you want your opponent, okay, so in a fighting game, like, this is kind of something I noticed too, is like, especially when I play DNF duels, like, you want to have cool stuff. Like, a character like Striker was fun as hell to play in DNF because, like, she could do really cool stuff, right? But, like, if you want the game to be like a competitive, like have competitive integrity, those cool things need to be done less, if that makes any sense. They can't be done 24/7. It's like throwing a haymaker 24/7, and your opponent has just got to deal with it 24/7, and they don't have the options to kind of deal with it. Or maybe they do have the options to deal with it, but when they do have the option to deal with it, it dumbs the game down so low to where it's like, did I do it? Oh no, I didn't do it. All right, I'm getting hit. Oh, did I do it? Oh, it worked. Okay, now he's getting hit. Like, it's like there's no in between, you know, in that kind of gameplay, which is kind of what MK1 is struggling with right now. Like, things like Serena Assist, things like Cyrax, Baraka Cyrax, any block string into Cyrax, really. Striker, to an extent, Striker is not as bad, but there are some issues. I know you guys were talking about the camera thing. It's kind of funny because you can actually, I've done this in the lab, when you're playing Katana, you can actually run away infinitely and your opponent can't do anything, because what you do is you do jump square wave, they can't anti-air it, and then when you land to recover, that's normally where she'd get punished, right? But you can set Striker to throw the grenades when she lands, and you can't see Striker throwing the grenades. So when you try to go to punish her, you just get hit by the grenades, and now she can run away again. Oh, God. It's so dumb. I don't do it. Yeah, but it's so dumb. Like, because you can't see Striker. Like, he throws her. You can hear him. You can hear the police siren. You can see the little assist cameo go down, but you can't actually see him on the screen. You just get hit by grenades trying to punish Katana. It's the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in the lab. But those are the kind of things. It's like, it just, when I see that, it's just like, yeah, I don't want to compete in this, because it's like, I wouldn't feel outplayed, you know? I wouldn't feel like there was something I could have done better, if that makes any sense. Yeah. But I think MK1's a good game, though. I think when it comes down to it, I think it's a fun game to play. I just think competitively it would be really frustrating. So it'd be really, really frustrating.
And I hate to say this too, because what it sounds like we all kind of agree on is, like, ultimately the bare bones is it has a lot of great stuff with like a lot of shit on top, right? So so it's like it's
fun, yeah. It's a shit fondant over the cake.
Yeah, there's just a dome of diarrhea.
It's not.
Right, and so it's like we all know, like, oh yeah, NRS is like, okay, this is like, we know where we're going with it in like a year to 2 years from now. Let's just push it out now because it's kind of got the framework going, right? And then that's kind of what happened, right? I mean, because obviously, like you said, WB Chan was like, no, you got to do this, and then, you know, that's kind of what happened, man.
It's also $70 now. Like, and I'm not trying to like be on a high horse here of what is worth your money or not, but if you're gonna push out a AAA game and then say it's worth $70 now, you're gonna up the price and then you release it where it's clearly not done. You lose the respect of the fans, and the problem is, like, we're fighting game fanatics, right? Like we're gonna buy the new Mortal Kombat because we're fighting game fans. The casual audience that just like, ooh, Mortal Kombat's out, are gonna go buy it and they're gonna think this is the best game ever. While the fan, I don't want to say we're hardcore fans or real fans because that's not true. What we're saying is we're more like tuned in to what a good fighting game is. We're like, dude, this is clearly wrong. Everyone's like, you're all dumb. The game's great. And they're getting, all of those people are screaming at WB, thank you so much for such a great game. And just this vicious cycle is starting right now. And that's why we have like FIFA and Madden and all in the show and all these sports games, because no one ever calls them out on their bullshit. Because the casual little Timmy is going to buy the game regardless and enjoy it. Yeah. And mom's going to be like, okay, he's stuck in his room. He's not causing any problems. Things are great.
He can play his M-rated game.
Yeah, I'm going to go buy a new Mortal Kombat for him every time now because he likes it. But we're just like, what the fuck? It's very stressful.
And I think like it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be like Street Fighter 5 where it's like at first that game kind of like it was fun, but it also kind of fucking sucks. You know what I mean? Like it's and MK1 is the same thing where it's like, you know, by the time it's near the end of its life, it'll be a good playable game that has like enough content that's worth buying. But right now it's like, it just sort of like you take the smaller hardcore fan base for granted. Like, yeah, absolutely what you're saying.
Well, based on NRS's dealings lately, it could be finished in a year, unfortunately, and then they just won't say anything, and then they'll push out another Mortal Kombat, and the cycle just continues.
Said this is gonna be the longest supported Mortal Kombat.
They said that about 11, and then just went completely silent for a year.
Yeah, it was longer than a year. Trust me. I was like, after like it hit the year, I stopped counting. But like, I think he realizes he can make more money with DLC because they're still selling MK11.
Yeah.
Like MK11, which brings me to a question I would like to ask Ops. Have you touched MK11 since?
No, but I'd rather compete in it.
Yeah, because that makes me wonder if people just not digging MK1 right now.
In my defense, I said that before I bought MK1, by the way.
Yeah.
I said I'm gonna like MK11 more. I literally told myself that because after I saw the cameos, I was like, this game's gonna be crazy.
Evo, you said it to me. We were at Evo, and you said you're like, I'm gonna like MK1. I'm gonna like this way more. I'm not gonna like it. It looks like ass. Like we were just sitting there having breakfast. You're like, nope, not gonna like it.
I tried. I'm telling you, I'm trying. I'm still trying right now.
I am with you, Matt, by the way. I do think I will be more willing to download it again down the road. Yeah. Because, like, Injustice 2, I'll use that as an example. The online at first for PC was trash when it was dropped on Steam. Yeah, it was horrible. It took years to get there, but, like, I almost exclusively play Injustice 2 now on Steam. Like, it's not the main platform I play it on now. I have zero issues. No problems online. People across the country, zero issues. I do think down the road MK1 is going to be far better. But right now, I am not willing to take the chance or dedicate myself to it when I know that it's such a mess.
And it kind of like makes you wonder, like, when did MK11 come out? Like, I think what, 2018, right? So 2019. Okay, so like what we've had like 4 or 5 years or so since that game came out, and give or take some support for MK1. Why is this game still in this state? Was it really not enough time for them to make another Mortal Kombat game? And the question is it sort of like, well, let's finish the single player campaign, make sure that the gameplay is solid enough, and then focus on marketing. That really feels like, set up the DLC, focus on marketing, and then then let it carry itself. You know what I mean?
And I don't want to compare it to Street Fighter, and they're different games, plain and simple. But I can think of maybe 2 issues that Street Fighter had when it launched, and they fixed that day one with a day one patch. We're still waiting for some fixes for things. And Street Fighter had crossplay, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and I ran tournament with 0 issues. And Mortal Kombat not only has Xbox to Street Fighter, which PlayStation to Street Fighter, or PlayStation to Xbox, that's kind of sketchy. But the other two platforms, there's no crossplay. Like, I don't know. It shows that like some companies really care about the IP and the fans and did everything they could to make a great game. Now, was like Street Fighter's story mode phenomenal?
It's okay.
A little overhyped, but you know
what I mean?
it's
A little overhyped, yeah. It's the best Street Fighter's done in a long time, without a doubt. But like what Mortal Kombat did here, they did their usual good story mode. Like I said, A-okay with the story. But there's just certain things that, like, if I was a fan who got Street Fighter this year, and then I went over and bought Mortal Kombat, awesome. Oh, it's $70 more? Oh, okay. Oh, wait, I can't play with my buddy on his PC? Oh, okay. Wait, I gotta pay for a character up front if I didn't buy it already? Like, these things just start piling up.
Yeah.
And it's, like... to us, it's bothersome. And I think this generation we're going to start seeing people, like, because we're all broke. Let's be honest, none of us are rich. Like, $70 is a lot to spend on a video game now.
This is my mansion.
Like, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm very cautious of what I spend. I did not buy the DLC pack yet, and I don't plan on buying it right now. Like, even though I really want to play Homelander, I'm just going to wait. And when they all come out and the deluxe edition comes out, I'll wait for that to finish, and then it will slowly go down in price, and I'll buy it for $7 on Steam.
I'll just wait for the next Ultimate Edition. It's fine.
Yeah.
I won't even buy MK1 until then.
Like, it's oof.
I mean, with the with like, you know, them kind of just being like, yeah, well, there's not gonna have crossplay on the PC version. It'll come though. Like maybe in a, you know, it's coming. We're working on it. It's like what do you mean it's not coming? I bought this so I could play with my friend on PS5.
Yep. I don't believe for 1 second it's coming.
And
you know what was in the beta? You know what was in the freaking beta? Full crossplay with the PC and the consoles.
You know what I said to Quint, like, after they announced that? I looked at Quint, I was like, I can't wait to play this. I can't wait until a year till we get crossplay so I can not play with my friend on PS5 because he's long not playing that game, and he's not a fighting game player. He plays Mortal Kombat casually, right? He's kind of trying to learn fighting games for the first time, and I'm like, okay, this is awesome. A friend of mine's kind of getting into fighting games, right? Because I've been that one fighting game guy in your group of friends, right, Phil? So I'm like, okay, awesome. I'm gonna get to play with my friend, and then I realize as soon as they say it, I'm like, that could be 6 months, that could be a year. In 6 months, he is going to be done with that game. He is not going to be playing that anymore. He's going to be on to the next, like, good AAA game that's coming out, like, you know, your like Armored Core, whatever. And it's and then I once again, I bought a game to try to play with a friend that I'm just never gonna get to actually.
He's gonna be playing that Elden Ring DLC. It's coming out, I swear. I swear it's coming.
I'm on my second playthrough of Baldur's Gate because Mortal Kombat disappointed me so much.
I still have to do my first.
But I mean,
oh, sorry, go ahead, Matt.
No, go ahead, man.
Well, here's the thing, like, we're heading into a new era for fighting game fans, and there's certain things I just kind of feel we should have at this point. Like, I understand not having crossplay with everything. I get that's kind of hard, right? But, like, some bare minimums would be nice. Rollback netcode, like, Tekken doesn't even know if we're getting rollback yet. You know what I mean? And Tekken's coming out in what month are we in? In
January.
3 months. We're gonna have Tekken come out. The big three: Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Tekken, all coming out within 7 months of each other.
Yo.
And like, if I was Tekken, I'd be like, okay, we don't have crossplay either. We don't really have rollback either. Yo, Bandai, fix it. Like, they need to, like,
That's
make
the
sure.
thing, though. They have crossplay. Harada didn't announce it. So for Tekken, he's like, I just thought that was just like a common thing. Yeah, of course we're gonna have crossplay. And everyone's like, oh,
he announced it. He announced it on Twitter.
Yeah, he just announced
He-
it ultra casually because someone asked about it. He's like, oh yeah, of course it's gonna have crossplay.
He
Why
literally
wouldn't
said,
it?
"I'm so annoyed of like people asking me this question. Of course it's gonna have crossplay."
Yeah.
And he said, like, you know, like it, and it's like he doesn't quite understand why that's important to people still. And it's like with Tekken 7, he's like, well, it has rollback. It just has like a hybrid form of rollback. And it's like, that's not what that's not what people are asking you, man. Like, I know that's not what people are trying to fucking get from you out of this goddamn question. And it's just
I
like,
get it's half delay, half rollback, but
and so the idea is, well, I mean, I don't know if you had heard this as well, Phil, is that Bandai Namco and Harada, they had hired Arika to do their online.
I did hear
Yep.
that, yes. Which is crazy because I also heard they're currently working on a new. Why can I never remember their game?
Fighting EX Layer.
fighting
The X Layer, yeah. Yeah, they're it's already being made, and it's a 3D fighter this time, which is also interesting. But like, it's just, we have all of the SNK games straight up announced. We're going to give you a rollback. We're going to give you crossplay. Grand Blue just had one of the worst netcodes out there. Announced we're going to give you we're giving you crossplay.
Yep.
We're giving you, and like, these are the, like, I guess you say B or C tier fighting games. And then Mortal Kombat, who's supposed to be one of the big thhree, is like,
Come on, it's Mortal Kombat.
it's kind of like, I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me. And I uninstalled it, and like, I'm not, like I said, terrible bro stuff over in the T3 server. Like, me and him, we're just going back and forth. His Smoke versus my Sindel, and we played for like 3 hours. I had a great time playing with him one-on-one. But the problem, the reason it was 3 hours is because there was a 2-minute wait in between every load of match. And I don't,
Tekken numbers.
that's not what should be happening from a game in 2023 when you were the best-selling fighting game of last generation, not including Smash Bros. I just don't get it. Like, how do you go from being like the #1 fighting game last generation to just saying, whoops, how? Boone, explain yourself. And I want a 5-page essay on my desk
On
by
Monday.
tomorrow.
Best I can do is one troll meme about a character you want.
And yeah, a clip from this podcast will get out there. It's like, people never are happy. I'm like, no, we're not happy. We're not happy.
Where's my crypt? I want the crypt back. I love the crypt in MK11.
I did like 1-2 matches of Invasion, and I just turned it off.
Yeah,
Like, no.
Invasion's not fun. Crypt, fun puzzle things.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
That's
Invasion,
definitely an
kick
example
rocks.
of them doing something different and it not working out. That's a perfect
Yes,
example, because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the crypt works fine. It's just they wanted to try something else.
It's a lot harder to make a crypt than it is to just make some, oh, here's some like fighting game rules in a little map thing. There you go. Whereas
I don't
the
know
crypt,
how-
they have to actually think about like little puzzles and stuff and all the cool things they can have in there.
Like the
Invasion, that's
unlockables
just-
alone.
You just throw it out there.
Like, all the unlockables in the crypt from MK11 was so fun to collect.
Yeah,
Like, that was one of my
exactly.
favorite, like, getting all those collectibles every, like, you feel like you're accomplishing something. Like, and I like old school towers. Like, I like fighting the CPU. I'll be honest. I like going through like the hard mode. I've always enjoyed doing that, right? It's like an arcade tower. And they're there still, but like, it's like, I think they just did it perfectly. Towers fine. When they did it in MK11, I thought their towers system was perfect, and the fact they kind of took that away is a little bit of a bummer to me, because there was nothing wrong with it. They nailed it. Like, it was like perfect. Like, I didn't play MK11 that much, but when I did, I actually really enjoyed jumping on and see if my Jade sucked or not while going through the towers. Like, I liked that.
And I'm not gonna lie, Ops. I think I feel for you, man, because what it sounds like to me as like someone who, you know, played Exard and Rev 2, right? And then going from Exard to Rev 2 to Strive, and I was just, or even plus R, right, to Strive. I was like, why isn't this as fun? And then you kind of realize, like, it seems like it's a little more dumbed, and I don't know if this is the right word because it feels like it is from your perspective. It feels like MK11 to MK1 is dumbed down. Would you do you agree with that, or is that just sort of?
I would say the problem that MK always runs into is it has a legacy issue. So like MK11 was heavily based on strike throw. Like that was the whole game pretty much. Like that's why they had throw crushing blows. That's why they had down 2 KB, because that was the whole game. The whole game was kind of like strike throw kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
This game is more focused kind of like on cameos. Like it's more focused on cameos and like really strong offense. But the problem at least that I run into with MK1 is that like there's a lot of situations where in MK11 you might have had to think more options than in MK1, if that makes any sense. Like Baraka, for example, is whiffing half screen normals, and like some characters literally can't do anything about it. Like he'll do like a disjoint, like a move that has a disjointed hitbox, and you go to whiff punish it, and then you get hit by it trying to whiff punish it, and then he hits you for 50, and it's like that just doesn't feel good when that happens. Like when he's swinging a normal you can't deal with, and you just get hit and you have no option. Like it just doesn't feel great. Like especially if you're trying to play footsies against him or something, you know. Yeah, go ahead.
I guess like I didn't play MK1 like extensively enough to have like a treetop understanding of it, right?
Yeah.
So can you and I guess would this kind of connect into, does this explain why people don't like MK11 or in general, or do you think that's just sort of my mentality of like, you know, that's just why did so many people, I've heard people say I picked it up, played it for like a week, I played it once, I didn't like it, and I dropped it. So
are you talking about MK11?
Yeah, like sort of to build a perspective. Yeah.
So it's really
I got some input too.
It's a really mixed thing. So MK11 is very unique in the fact that competitive wise, so like there's like levels to it, right? So like MK11 itself is not a fun game. If that makes any sense. It's kind of weird to kind of explain. It's not. It's okay, so. I'm listening. It's so toned down that like it really is between players in MK11. There are some characters that are broken. I'm not going to deny characters like Fujin and Cabal, like Slight Gas Cabal. But like MK11, when I played against someone in MK11, I felt like if I had a decent character and I was like better like fundamentally than the other player, I would beat them. That was a very common thing in MK11. MK11 is the only MK game I could say where I feel like that's the case. And MK1. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I mean, like, and I have to, again, I'm trying to like learn about this. I'm trying to kind of compare apples and oranges, right?
Yeah.
When I know when I play Street Fighter 6 and I lose, I say to myself, I lost because I didn't know how to beat this situation, or I messed up. I felt like it was my fault. So are you saying like, sort of like, you know, while playing MK11, you say to yourself like, okay, I messed up. This was my fault. Yes. It's not sort of you're not battling the system of the game so much.
So that's the problem. So because this is the thing that happens a lot too. And I'm not saying you guys are doing this, but this happens a lot. Like I get this a lot with a lot of players. They'll tell me, "Oh, you don't like the game because you're not good at the game." Now, I'm gonna make the argument here in MK1. I'm not currently really good at MK1 because I haven't grinded the game. I've grinded games, put time into games, and been good at them because I put the time in. MK1 has not been a game I put that time in because of this reason, right? I will win a majority of games in MK1 and be mad. Like I will beat someone and be upset because of how the game is playing, right? That's kind of what I'm kind of getting at, is kind of my point.
Yeah. You don't like the way so the winning feels. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like it's because like I even told someone yesterday, because they're like, oh yeah, Raiden does all this damage. And I'm like, dude, honestly, man, if this Raiden player, like if a Raiden player is doing this block string and they're just playing brain dead, I'm gonna armor every time. They might block one time and get 50% on me. I'm still gonna armor because I'm gonna let them know, hey, dude, you can't just keep doing this block string on me, bro. Like even if he blocks it and punishes me, fine. I'm still gonna brain dead armor every time because I want to convince him to stop doing the block string.
Right.
Like that's like if I have to send a message, I'll send a message because it really does get to that point where like they're just doing the same thing over and over and over, and like your only answer is to armor through it. So I'm just gonna armor through it until he stops doing it, you know. But that's boring. I just find that not fun, you know, when it gets dumbed down that way. Now again, I want to go back to my original point that there are some matchups like Phil was saying, Smoke versus you were playing Sindel. That probably was a fun matchup to play. Right,
yeah,
because
it was
it's not.
Yeah, like when we were actually playing the game, yeah, it was a blast. It's a fun game. Like,
Yeah.
I think I may have talked to you ops about this before. Is the way the game feels, like some of the combos feel, the way some of the routes of how I play are similar to some of the characters I play in Injustice. Like
Okay.
Sindel plays kind of similar to Enchantress. Like I literally some of the way the buttons are pressed. I'm like, hey, this is what I do for her. So I know obviously there's some asset reusage, right? But it felt natural and good. You know what I mean? It felt good to do. And like there's a lot of like neutral play, if I'm gonna be honest, in MK1. There's a little more of a rushy down game. But like I felt it, like learning the block strings of the Smoke player, him figuring out like the nonsense I can do with Sindel's hair. Like there was an actual fun aspect to it. Just everything else was oof.
Yeah.
Phil, and I know you said you had a perspective on why you think people do not like so many like bigger people, you know, probably like Max. I've heard Max say it before that they don't like MK1. I've heard a bunch of people say it at this point. MK11, I'm sorry, MK11. I'm minusing the one, sorry. MK11. 11, why?
It's because of MKX and MK9. And that's my opinion. Like I'm a big fan of all of them. If I had to rate them, I obviously probably wouldn't put. I just didn't put as much time into MK11. But after playing MK1, I now respect MK11 far more. If that makes any sense. MKX was extremely popular. It kind of exploded. I'm sure all of you know the Sonic Fox. I think it was versus Rewind. Was it the Aaron Black matchup? Was it Rewind he beat?
Oh, it was Sonic. No, it was Sonic versus Tekken Master. That was the big one, yeah.
Everyone like that kind of blew up MKX, which brought people flooding to the game. So when people started playing Mortal Kombat, they started with either MKX or went back to MK9, and so they were all excited. Then Injustice 2 came out, which is zone-tastical.
Yeah,
so
they
like,
didn't.
They were like, we ain't dealing with all of the zoning. So
Ninja doesn't even like that. Apparently, he doesn't even like Injustice because it's so zone heavy. I thought that was funny.
That game also is kind of like top heavy with certain. There's like 3 characters that just rule the scene.
Yeah.
But like when that happened, people were really excited for MK11. We were gonna get a new Mortal Kombat. They didn't like the zoning and Injustice. So when Mortal Kombat 11 came out, everyone was all excited and they started playing it and they're like, "This isn't MKX. Why isn't it MKX?" And right from there, at least as what we would call like the more greater like FGC, they were like, no, this isn't for us. So a lot of people went back to MKX. Like that scene's still very active. And like I personally loved Injustice, as you all know.
Oh yeah.
But like that's a huge part of it. And also this one other aspect is it's called following the leader. Whenever a new game comes out, the casual fan base will always flock to the new game. Like you made the comment about the Strive, right? Like one of the biggest departures of people going, oh man, like this game sucks. Look at what happened between Melee to Brawl in Smash Bros. Oh, yeah. That entire fan base, the entire Smash FG community
divided. Yeah.
Was like, we're not playing Brawl. They were like, no, I'm not doing it. And this happens all the time. It happened with Street Fighter 5 too. They went in there like, this game isn't even done. So they all went back to Street Fighter 4. Like people that just didn't like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, they all went back to Marvel 3. Like, but the problem is that's us. The casual fan base will always go to the new game, always. And when the casual fan base gets an opinion and they go online and some casual decides like, you know what, I'm going to get into Mortal Kombat 11. Why not? I mean, he gets on there and they get matched against Ops first round and ranked and gets their ass kicked. They're done with the game.
I actually Yeah, I'll bring that up later. But go on. Yeah, go on. They get their ass kicked by ops. My bad.
Yeah, like I can already see Katana just slicing this dude up. Like, it's a sucky thing, and there's no real answer for it. Like, there's no fixing it. So like that's why a lot of games get the bad rep in the beginning, and some do get out of it. Street Fighter V is a great example. Street Fighter V started unplayable pretty much, and turned out to be a phenomenal game at the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's still hope for MK1, I guess. I just don't know what they're gonna do to fix it. Like it's the game kind of needs an overhaul, if I'm gonna be honest, to like fix everything.
Yeah, it kind of feels like maybe they'll wait until you know, all of the DLC comes out before they start to seriously overhaul some things. But I don't know how
pro comp, so I don't know. That's gonna be interesting. Wonder when they're gonna start doing this patch stuff, because yeah, they already announced a pro comp.
But I mean, let me ask you guys this: do they sort of like with Street Fighter? Like Street Fighter's like, yeah, we have a philosophy on how we're gonna handle patching this game, right? They said they're gonna patch it every year or something like that. I think. Yeah. Does NRS have like a patch philosophy of any kind that they've ever talked about, or just sort of like, oh god, we need to fix this thing, and they just sort of like emergency fix everything, you know?
It took them 2 years to fix Shiva, so I mean, maybe they'll get to it in a couple of years. I don't know if you guys.
What, a year to fix Joker?
I still don't think they fixed Joker. They're not super patch happy. They have. Well, see, the thing is that they're one of the few people that have a dedicated podcast. They're talking about the updates and stuff, and I don't think they. I don't know. I don't have.
It's just like glorified like DLC like show off though at this point.
The Combat Cast is what we're talking about, and like the Combat Cast has a completely different take on how that stuff is done. Like. I'll go back to what I said about Shiva. Shiva's dragon stomp, where she would just jump in the air and fall. That was literally. There's a famous clip of some girl crying about it on stream, and they finally patched it after that. Like it was a nuisance online for months after they changed everything. What was it, Ops? That last league where they allowed any variation.
The last league. Sorry, custom.
Yeah, they allowed custom variations.
They finally unlocked those.
Yeah. And there was like 3 characters that were able to even get out of the way of her stomp, and it was just brutal. So.
Well, the thing about that is after they nerfed her stomp, they just moved to like the 4 fireballs, and they're like, oh, fine, I'll just win this way instead. Who cares?
Well, that was nerfed too, though. They nerfed that before.
Yeah.
They actually nerfed the fireballs before, then they nerfed the stomp. That's another thing NRS does that's kind of annoying, is like they'll nerf a character into the ground and not give them anything. So after they nerfed everything Shiva had, Shiva was never played again.
Yeah, they just left her there.
Yeah, because they nerf they don't tone down. Like for example, Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero in the beta was like strong, right? But we don't see Sub in MK1 anymore because they nerfed his damage, they nerfed his ice clone. They nerfed his normals. His normals are slower. They nerfed everything. And this was after the beta. The game hadn't even been out yet, and they nerfed the character. Like, what? Like, it's... Their patch philosophy is...
That's
very interesting.
It's whack.
In all fighting games,
like,
I like to call it the King K rule clause, where if a character is too hard for casuals, they nerf the character. I think that was part of the problem with people. We're always losing to Sub-Zero in the beta. So okay, let's nerf him to the ground because he's clearly going to be one of the issues we have. It's just always going to be the case where there's always
people
like
had leftover Sub-Zero hate from 11. Like, oh, this overhead online.
Yeah.
I still hate Sub-Zero from Injustice, but that's a whole different game. Damn, his slide in.
Still can't catch a break, honestly.
Sub-Zero
can't.
He's getting nerfed. I mean, he was good in 11 though. He was good in 11 though. He was probably top 5.
He was. I don't know. I feel like he was like exaggerated in 11, because like there were other characters that were doing far more egregious things, like Fujin and RoboCop zoning and Cetrion zoning and stuff like that.
Well, Sub beat those characters though. Sub beat RoboCop and Cetron. He didn't beat Fujin though. Fujin could just jump on him all day. Couldn't do anything. Fujin was
broke the rules of the game.
Fujin,
like,
yeah,
oh,
Fujin
you're gonna
was literally
zone me?
broken.
I'll just walk through the sky and end your career.
Fujin was a Melty Bud character in
yeah, that's literally what it was. Yeah. And Cabal were literally. They literally
it's like, what is a Blaze Blue character doing in this game right now?
Oh my god.
That's exactly how I felt. That's another thing that NRS does that they need to stop. Well, let me rephrase it. NRS has the way they play they balance their meta is interesting because they give, so down 2 is the universal anti-air, right? Like when you do a down 2, they do an uppercut, right?
Yep.
But like in every other game, like Street Fighter, for example, I always use Street Fighter because Street Fighter, if someone jumps at you and you do a DP motion, you're going to anti-air. Like every time. Like as long as the jump in is connecting and you do the DP motion and the DP startup frames come out as the down 2 or as the jump in's connecting, you'll anti-air. NRS does this thing where down 2s can get stuffed by jump kicks. So like someone can jump at you, you know they're going to jump. You know, you're like, okay, they're going to jump. I know they're going to jump right now. You go to do a down 2, they stuff you with a jump kick. So you get punished for trying to anti-air them.
As someone,
like, and it's like, what? Why? Like, just give us invincible anti-airs. Give us upper body invincible anti-airs. Like they did it in MK9. Why can't they do it in MK? Like at the MKs afterward. Street Fighter does it. Just give us upper body invincible anti-airs. Because you'll be able to anti-air every single time someone jumps if you react and you know it's coming, right? And you get taught those fundamentals that you're taught in every other fighting game to properly anti-air. Which is just like I don't understand. Like I don't know. It's
can I like add to that? I would like to add to that because as someone, this is my first MK, by the way. I just throw this out there. It's my first MK game. I did play Injustice 2 or Justice 1 like heavily, but that felt different. I don't know why, but coming back after like not playing NRS games since then, coming back to this feels like completely foreign to me compared to every other fighting game I play. I mean, I don't feel comfortable ever doing anything, and I think it has to do with a lot of their like design philosophies on how they like I don't like how, okay, for example, the fireball thing where you have to crouch without holding block to not get chipped out by a fireball. I think that is the stupidest design choice ever because literally no other fighting game has that issue. Like I have to worry about fireballs all the time because it's not second nature to me, right? There's just like other like little weird things. Footsies feel like strange to me. Like I never feel like I can properly get going ever, you know? I feel like it's very like string heavy game. And like even then like Tekken, like you do not do string, like you do some strings, right? But like most of the time you kind of don't want to always finish strings. Like you kind of want to do part of a string or whatever it may be. Or like you use string in a combo. It just sort of it feels very weird, very foreign. I don't know if anyone could kind of like comment on that, if that's just always been sort of like NRS's kind of bag, or what's up?
I want to piggyback off of this. NRS is kind of notorious for almost not having neutral resets. Like, and it's super egregious in MK1. You're pretty much never at a neutral state. It's always just one person on the advantage, the other person blocking, and it never resets. Like in Tekken, for example, you'll have like somebody do a string, and then the other person, you know, is able to like get out, and it resets the neutral.
Yes.
However, in MK1, they're doing that string, and then they're calling their cameo, and they're doing that string, etc. Like you never have the room to really breathe that you do in most other fighting games. Street Fighter, you also get the neutral resets because you get like
it's because of push block. It's because of push block too. The strings don't do push in MK games, and the reason they do that is so the philosophy behind it. And I slowly understood it after I played after I played Street Fighter 6. Like I put some time into that game. The idea behind it is that in MK games, when you do a string and you're minus, the punishment is your negative in front of your, like if you do a string, like let's say we're playing neutral, right? I do a string, you block the string, and then my string is -6. Well, now I really only have one option, and it's to down 1 or armor. Because my turn's over, I'm -6 in your face kind of thing. So that's kind of like the idea that like NRS tries to adopt is like, your strings don't do pushback, but you're punished in the sense that you're negative in front of your opponent, and your opponent now has the option to do anything, right? Like strike throw, makes you do their own string, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the idea, but the problem is assists kind of throw that out the window, because now people are doing like things are literally -20 into assist, and then they're plus. Which is just crazy. Like what?
Which resets your entire pressure. You're like, I
yeah,
can just do it again.
Resets your yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Smoke.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Smoke's like teleport kick, where it's like that is so punishable, it's ridiculous. And then he just does Cyrax assist, and that's just like, no, it's safe now, and it's like,
that makes the game clown shoes. I'm not gonna lie, it literally makes it clown shoes, because like now things that are supposed to be punishable are safe. What is going on? Like, what is this? Like, it would be one thing, because I played, like, again, I'll go back to DNF Duel. I played DNF, right? And the character I played actually broke that rule. They did the same exact thing. They would do a block string, and their block string was plus because of their special ability. That was kind of their special ability, right? But guess what? She had to get you on block to do it. In MK1, they don't even have to get you on block. They can whiff something and do striker assist, and now they're safe. Like, what? It's just so weird. Like, where are you supposed to punish them? Like, where are you supposed to like take your turn back? Like, where's the the
actual competitive aspect of it?
It doesn't make sense. You don't. It becomes a party game.
So like, so this is why. Okay, I'm making sense now. This is making sense now.
Single player.
So this is making sense why I never feel like I'm ever kind of have a sense or feel like I'm in kind of control, because it's so foreign, where it's like, you know, I'm never in like safe positions, or like I crouch, you know, I got a crouch fireball, the uppercut, like I assume, I did not even know that could be stuffed by jump-ins, but I assume like, I just have this, I always have this like uppercut, it's fine. And then it's like, no, you don't have that, you know. And so it's making a little more sense now listening to you guys talk. It's like, oh shit.
The game's just always a scramble.
Yes.
Always a scramble. You're never not just skirmishing, you're just going. There's no rest whatsoever.
Yeah, and it makes it even worse, because now if you're gonna sit and block in neutral, Reiko can run up to you and do a command grab into 40%. So yeah, good luck with that. Good luck blocking in neutral.
I remember Reiko, and then Reiko also, he's a grappler that has awesome projectiles, which is
he outzones Katana. I thought that was I lose that matchup, because he can literally just, even if I pick Sub-Zero, he'll throw the stars, and the stars actually break Sub-Zero's armor. So you can't even choose the anti-zoning option.
I didn't know that. That's funny.
Anti-zoning option. Yeah, it's the game is. I'm telling you, dude. Like this game, I
got too hyped.
It just gets.
And most characters aren't built equal. Like, I was watching some like Natara combos, and she's like comboing you for like a minute basically, and it's like, all right, there's my 30%. Yeah. And then you got like Garrus popping in and just annihilates your health bar in half of the time. You're like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's MK.
It also, so this is just a side thing of when it comes back to like the marketing. There are hundreds of new Mortal Kombat content creators that like came out of MK1. Hundreds. And I'm not even lying. I feel like I'm seeing a new content creator for like people that I've never seen on TikTok, people I've never seen on YouTube, shorts, YouTube, reels, everywhere. So like the game is clearly popular enough where people are playing it, but like that goes to show us that like, oh, maybe going back to the theory that like the greater FGC, like the community is aware of what's going on, but these new people that are getting in, like, this is the best thing ever. Look how great and balanced this is. Look at this 50% combo I did off of a whiff. This is phenomenal. No one can defeat me. Like we're gonna see a lot of that going into the next year, because
for sure.
I hate to say this, the game looks great.
It looks great.
graphically, it's a beautiful looking game. Like every time I go into the Johnny stage mansion, his mansion, I'm just like, so awesome, man. I was looking
at everything. Yeah.
The game looks beautiful. That's what sucks. It's like, come on.
It's like Johnny keeps his house at a cool 72 degrees. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. Like, I don't know why. That doesn't have to be there. It just is. You know what I mean?
In the undead forest or whatever it is that Gary Busey in a tree? What is?
Yeah, no. So kind of like, speaking of which, I want to kind of talk about this game in the character redesigns, right? I think these are some of the best versions of Mortal Kombat characters ever in my like design wise. This is my favorite version of Raiden. I think he's really dope. And he makes him sort of likable, like as a person where he's just not like, I'm God authority man, you know, where it's like, I don't even
consult the elder gods.
That's his personality. I must consult the elder gods. I will see you later. And then, you know, I kind of feel like I like him quite a bit.
I'm with you. I think that's part of the reason why I think I like the redesigns of, like, lore wise, is Raiden and Liu Kang, funny enough, just need to switch places and it fits.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've never really liked Raiden and Liu Kang because their characters felt annoying. Now they just feel right. Like, I am totally on board with you there. Like, Raiden's like being the farm boy, just doing what's right, it fits perfectly for him being the champion of Earthrealm. And like Liu Kang just fits perfectly being the god of fire now, or is it Fire God Liu Kang is what he's called?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Fire God Liu Kang. It just fits perfectly. Like he just what he's doing fits like perfectly with like his attitude, him being kind of a little cocky. That suits a god, you know what I mean? Like, Reptile. I mentioned that earlier. Reptile's new design is super sick. I'm super shocked that's the way they went with him, but I'm still super happy. Natara, voice actor aside, I love what they did with her.
Do you love that she's Megan Fox, or do you love that she's a vampire? I'm trying to like. Do you love that she's a vampire?
I don't really know how she plays. The story is. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I don't hate Megan Fox.
No.
I don't want her being the voice of a Mortal Kombat character because it makes no sense.
He sounds terrible.
You're right, it does, but it does. I'm not blaming Megan Fox. She got offered a gig and she accepted it. I'm not gonna.
I swear to God, they did one take. They're just like, no, that's good, Megan.
Probably right.
See you in a week.
I'm not gonna get mad at her for it. It's not her fault. That is what that is going back to marketing. It's just like, oh, we had Ronda Rousey as Sonya last time. Let's just continue.
I hated that
trend.
too.
Let's just keep on getting a bunch of star power to make. We are above just a fighting game. We're above just some game. We're something bigger. We're above it all. Like that's what they're trying to do. And I hate that part. But going back to the redesigns, Reptile is another one. In a weird way, Melina. I think what they did with Melina was awesome. Like because I never saw her as like. I've never really saw Melina as a good guy, and she is now. Like, I know she was kind of like never really a bad guy either. She just was misunderstood in the former games. But like now, like I love what they did with her. Like the story mode with her was absolutely awesome. I absolutely adored it. Katana, Sub-Zero, and a few other characters. Not that I hate their designs. I think they look great. Their characters are Kung Lao is another one. These characters didn't really change that much. Like lore-wise,
they made Sub-Zero straight up evil.
Not Sub-Zero. Yeah. Well, Sub-Zero kind of was evil originally.
Not really.
Bihan? Bihan was evil.
Bihan was a gray. He was a gray character. He's very
like originally, like lore-wise.
Yeah, he was in the original.
He was never like
mythologies.
evil.
He killed in mythologies he killed Scorpion, and then like he was talking to Raiden, and Raiden was like basically like he was able to travel into the netherrealm because he had evil in his heart, but like he was like kind of conflicted. He was like, you know, do I want to really go down that path? That's kind of what like he was consulting with Raiden about in mythologies, in the end of mythologies. I don't know if you guys have played through mythology. You should. It's trash, but you should play through it anyway.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. but yeah, like he's always been like kind of the darker Sub-Zero, but not necessarily like completely evil,
Yeah,
just more like
he wasn't actually evil.
yeah.
He was,
but he did
he was
some
confused.
Yeah,
did some shit.
he did some
Confused,
bad shit, yeah.
manipulated.
He was definitely like
like-
an anti-hero, like definitely
A little bit of a prick.
at the-
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think he's a little bit of a prick in this game.
Yeah, I don't think he's like
He's just
completely
an
evil.
asshole in MK1.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
his attitude.
I think they're kind of rocking the whole he's the Sub-Zero from the movie that just came out. They're
Yeah.
trying to make him like the slasher villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I'm okay with that, to be honest, because at the end of the day, Kuai Liang is supposed to be the good Sub-Zero, but we all know what's happening there right now. He's not. Kuai Liang is now Scorpion, which makes no sense.
Yeah, that is kind of.
I
I think
And
that
Hanzo
Hanzo.
actually just doesn't exist.
Yeah, give me Hanzo.
if
yeah,
he will,
Liu Kang
so
just said fuck Hanzo. Excuse me.
yeah. What's a Hanzo?
Yeah, he just said forget about him.
I think
Bye. Go away.
so here's my kind of take on things, and overall, what I think my problem with the can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure if my mic went out. So one problem I think I had with the early, Mortal Kombat storylines is after a while, like it just became the evil. Everybody was fucking evil. There's like too many bad guys. It felt like in the series. I mean, from my outside perspective, right? And what I think makes a more compelling story is when you have like, okay, so generally Liu Kang and his crew are like a part of the force of good in the world, and then everyone is just sort of having their own political discourse and giving them more personality than sort of like, I'm an evil guy and I'm gonna beat you up, and that's honestly like with Shao Kahn, with having him be General Khan now, like him sort of like having a sort of more political combative conversation, and like it makes me more interested in that character than him just like, well, he's taken over Earth Realm, and it's like I don't know anything about him, I don't care, and so I just sort of think like that was also a part of MK1's angle, is like we want people to get invested in these characters and like learn to meet them again, or get a new generation of people into fighting games. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know if
hate what
that.
they did with Ermac.
I don't know how I feel about Ermac.
Ermac
I'm with you.
was just weird in MK1. I don't know. I don't like his design. I don't like what they did with his character. They took it a really weird direction, and his MK11 design was so good, and they wasted it, and then they just threw it away in MK1, and then just.
Shao Kahn, I actually am kind of I'm all about the new redesign for Shao Kahn, simply because it gave him a reason to be who he was, because all we knew about him in the past is like, I conquer things, and that was like all we got. And like
good.
he's clearly misguided still in here, but they took arguably one of the most iconic like video game bosses and just put him as a like they for the first time ever in the history of this character showed his emotions a little bit, which was something I really liked. They're like, he was like, I'm doing this for Outworld, like almost like he's spin like a wrestling promo, like you kind of felt him be real for a moment. I really enjoyed that. Also, Sindel's a baddie.
Sindel's a baddie. Well, I mean, like I mean, that was the other thing too, is like,
Oh,
Uh-oh.
your mic messed up.
Yeah,
man.
mic switched.
I wish I had more love for some of these other 3D characters like Raiko and Ashura. I just
sorry guys,
I
this microphone's just
they
all
were
jacked up.
my favorite.
Ashura ended up just being another freaking nothing burger. Even in MK1,
Yep.
I was like, oh, they're gonna give her a cool no, oh, okay,
Nothing.
yeah,
Like
cool.
Baraka's
She's a
was
forest
kinda cool.
guide, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a demon who's sucking all of the evil out of me, or by every person I kill.
Yeah, I kill demons to get rid of my evilness. Oh, cool.
But like to kind of add to that point though is like even like someone like Shang Tsung where they show you like, okay, this version of him has been slighted since, you know, he was ever created into existence, which kind of makes it like a compelling story because it's like he realizes like, oh yeah, I've been fucked over by Liu Kang since I've been born, in fact. And like you kind of realize that he was just kind of a swindler at first and, you know, giving him sort of more purpose to, you know, be the monster that he was essentially. You know, I like that. I don't like how like it's just you show up, there's like an evil old man who has like these mystical powers for, you know, some reason, whatever they may be. But I guess actually, have they ever explained powers in MK, or it's just like, they just get them through training? Yeah, they just have their arc.
Yeah, they explain
Depends on the
some.
character.
Like Johnny gets his
Sometimes.
from God. He's like part god. Like he's descended from some gods. That's why he had the green energy and the
Part God, child of destiny.
yeah, or something like that. Like basically that's how they explain Johnny's. I don't know any other characters, but some characters they get their powers explained. Like
Any
Scorpion
Indians.
obviously got his because he was sent to hell.
Yeah, he got his from hell.
Yeah.
Literally hell powers.
Yeah. I know
Quan
all
Chi was just
Zenians-
like into mysticism and stuff like that. And I don't think Shang Tsung was ever properly explained, to my knowledge.
I know that he has to kill people to stay alive.
Yeah,
But
just
he
yeah
has
to
to-
keep his.
Yeah.
all of the Adenians, like Jade, Melina, Katana, Sindel, any of them from over there, Tanya, all of the Adenians have their power, and it's kind of like a shamanistic culture where your power manifests in its own ways. So like Jade's power, like say I actually don't some of her kinetic energy, she can like walk through projectiles. Katana able to manipulate the wind with her things like Melina's teleport. Those manipulate in their own way. You know what I mean? Like that, I know that's something I read somewhere, or I read something incorrectly. But I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
And Sub-Zero is obviously cryo. You know, they're all cryomancers.
Yeah.
Or is it cryo? Yeah, cryo.
Trying to figure out which characters are just from where. Like I remember going down like a rabbit hole, finding out that, like certain characters are from Earthrealm, but live on like Outworld. But like most of them are out from Outworld, but got their powers elsewhere. It's very very. If you dig into the Mortal Kombat lore from the 3D era, like from 4 to like Armageddon, there's so much crap there. They suck a lot of stuff in those crypts of story and lore. You got to go through a lot of stuff to learn all that stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of Earthrealm, how did we not get a single Special Forces character?
Oh, it's because people don't like special forces characters. That's 100% why they.
We have Sonya,
That's so-
Sonya and Jax.
No,
Sorry,
but we
we
don't
avoided that.
though, right? They're cameos. We have
Oh.
them.
Yeah, people kept whining about that. That is 100% because people kept whining about special forces characters.
Man,
Because they're like, we have too many, man. What? This is ridiculous. It's
And now
only
we got
about the special
zero.
forces. Yeah, I know that's why.
or they're just saving them for DLC Pack 2.
I mean, I know it's like for me, like I didn't see MK9. I watched a little bit of MK10 and somewhat of Levin's storyline, but like it coming into at that point story wise is very complicated, right? Which is why I like the reset, because I can now learn from scratch, and then they can kind of like show you, oh yeah, this is. I think they did this in MK9 where they can show you the beginnings of the character. They can show you like where they came from. And it's like, oh, I really like Johnny Cage. He's a pretty cool dude. You like Kenshi. Like I was like, oh yeah, Kenshi's awesome. Like they did a fantastic job in the story of giving you the backstory with like little pieces of dialogue to make you actually interested and care about these people. And I can say like for sure that's why I think the reset is a great idea. And it even lets you kind of like know where the story's probably going in the next game. I just hope it doesn't always become. I think the problem with their story that they had is they made each like integration like a little too grandiose. A lot of times they could make it simpler. They could have fewer characters, have those relationships build more instead of just have it be fight. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say here? Does anyone
Well, I mean, in MK1, I liked how they kind of built a relationship between Johnny and Kenshi. It made it feel like more impactful, I guess, when either of them went through turmoil.
Yeah.
And it felt more earned to have like Kenshi's like moment when he got his powers, for example.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to know how they introduce. I don't know. I'm gonna get whenever the next one comes out, when it's like Mortal Kombat 1 3/4. I'm gonna get that
63
as well.
and a third.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when that comes out, I will get it. I will play it, and I will probably be disappointed. But regardless, and like going back all the way to when we first started, I love this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I love Mortal Kombat, and I will always love it. And it's just saddening that like it's a mess because I think you said it earlier, Matt. I want to love this game.
Yeah,
I want to. Yeah. I really want to like this game, and it's there's just certain things that I just look back on that I'm just like, man, if they figured this out in like MKX, which came out like in 2014, 2015, we're like 8 years later, and you somehow made a more pain in the ass game. Like, what did you guys do? You had all of maybe we can blame COVID, I guess. Maybe that's why it fell behind. It could be part of it.
It could be. I mean, we're still like, as we all know, like we're still kind of suffering a lot of the backlash of COVID, and this was I think we can all say this is an excellent year in gaming, like an amazing year in gaming, and that is because of COVID. Like it's because things got pushed back, and so it all kind of accumulated to a fantastic year of banger titles coming out in 2023. Like I can think of like 1998 as being a fantastic year, like a legendary year in gaming, where a lot of those games left a staple on gaming as a whole.
Yeah, I think this is StarCraft,
Resident Evil 2. You know what I mean? You could really go on, and I feel like this is one of those years for sure. But with that said,
2007 was a really good year. I don't know why, but the year 2007 stuck in my head as a good year of video games, and I can't name a single game that came out in 2007. Was that the year? Did we get Halo 3 that year?
Oh, I don't, bro. It's been so long
because it's gonna bother me.
But yeah, I think like it also doesn't help that we've had kind of a lot of games recently that are like this, like AAA games, like Cyberpunk, like No Man's Sky, all come out. In Mortal Kombat 1, Street Fighter 5, I'll come out and just like, be half-assed, and then just sort of know like, oh yeah, this is a good game, but it's just kind of like half-assed, and you can see the potential of it. It's just, it makes me angry, makes me, right off the bat. Yeah. But before kind of we close out here, does anybody have any other thoughts that they want to throw out there before anything they want to get off their chests before we close out about MK1?
Omni-Man and Homelander should have been in Injustice.
Yeah, I agree.
It's strange that it's weird that they're in
Maybe
this
they
game.
If I don't get Invincible
from...
and Starlight in Injustice, I'm gonna lose my mind. Injustice 3. If the Starlight and if I don't get the good characters in there, I'm gonna be very, very angry.
I'm willing to bet that Homelander's just gonna be a Superman clone.
I think Omni-Man already is. No,
he's not. He's brawler. He just gets in there.
I saw two moves that he's literally he looks very similar to Hellboy from what I saw. He
also has like an auto parry.
Yeah, there's a couple things there.
Scary.
Spawn probably should have been in this game, not MK11. He probably should have
Spawn
been in
and MK11 was one of my biggest disappointments in gaming. I'm like, I love Spawn. Let's see how this guy. Never mind. We're good.
I actually had a friend of mine who actually got into Mortal Kombat and MK11 because of the Terminator. Oh. He literally, he messaged me when he got announced. Like, did you hear about this? I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm buying the game right now. I'm like, well, he's not out yet. Like, I don't care. He got into Mortal Kombat 11 because of Terminator. He's an old guy who just loved the original series, and he just plays like Grand Theft Auto, and that's the only game he plays. You know what I mean? It's one of those. But he saw Terminator was coming out, and he's like, I'm playing this. This is awesome. So, like, star power of like DLC characters is really important. Like I definitely will get that.
Sure.
I just feel it should have been justice. You stick to your horror characters. There's plenty of horror characters. They can add Jigsaw, right? They could have added Jigsaw.
Yeah.
They still
what
haven't
would
added
Jigsaw
Michael.
do? Just ride around on a little bike? Oh,
Yes.
whatever.
Yes, and he hits people with the bike. They still haven't added Mike Myers.
He's like
Character. He
GT
could have been a
Goku.
setup
He's got a little
character.
hitbox.
Yeah, dude, a Jigsaw setup character would be so awesome.
Yeah, you could set up like little traps and stuff. Like
Yeah, it'd be super
Oh,
sick.
man.
traps.
Jigsaw assist. And I think I had heard a rumor, and I don't, because I know you're big on not spoiling things, so I will contain that if you don't want me to say.
You know, before we get out here, can I touch on that?
Yeah,
This is the most leaked fucking game ever.
really.
I knew everyone that was on this roster at the beginning of the year. That is insane. I knew who was going to be on the DLC. They already announced. There's already been leaks of the next DLC pack too.
Yep.
Yep.
What the, like, and this is me being angry at just people that leak. But this, I want to call a shot. Like I'm shooting my shot at being angry at all of these giant YouTubers that are supposed to be leaders of the Mortal Kombat community, just blatantly showing it to everybody like it's nothing.
Yeah.
gotta get those-
You can't miss
No
it. It's
spoiler
impossible
alerts,
to
just
escape it.
dropping links like it's nothing.
Yeah. It's like, oh my
These are
god, I
guys
can't
I
believe
look up
X
to.
is gonna be in this.
Oh,
How
like
do you know X
that-
is gonna be in this?
It was like a week beforehand, and I'm just like scrolling through Twitter, and I see the full roster, and I look at the name, and like this is someone I've respected and have watched their videos for over a decade. Someone I like want to be one day, just blatantly showing everything.
The
And
same
then-
thing's happening in
then-
Tekken.
And then a retweet of it saying, "I don't understand why everyone's getting so mad at me. You guys would have seen it anyways." What?
The not apology.
I do not. I lost so much respect for the entire NRS content creation community. That I really need to worry about it, because pretty much the only thing anyone watches is just the intros. That's all you're gonna see for the
Or
next 3
fatalities.
years.
Yeah.
In fact, you're just gonna see the repeat of watching the same intros of these characters. 5 of them are
Rate-
gonna become YouTube shorts, and it's but man,
gotta rate
the
those
leaking of this
fatalities.
game was terrible.
I think that's just the landscape we're in, though. It's just leaks everywhere for everything. Like Tekken 8. Tekken 8, we learned basically the entire roster. What was it, like 2 months ago?
The only characters I'm interested in are the ones that I know nothing about. I'm like, oh, who's this guy? This is a new character. I'm interested. And
Yeah.
so, but I mean, I guess so. It's like a double-edged sword, where it's like, do you like it when they're like, they don't tell you who's coming out, or do you want them to just like drop it and like, you know?
Yeah.
Wait, who did they just announce for? Was it Strive that just had an announcement, like Johnny or something? Like I think Strive is like they're slowly dropping the characters over time. Like they're not like telling you everyone's coming out like the combat
They
pack.
announced Johnny?
Yeah, Johnny for Strive.
Johnny came
for
out
some reason
already.
I'm thinking of Slayer. Everybody knows.
Didn't Johnny come out?
He might
announced-
be out now. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know they
Johnny
announced
came
the
out
character for
because
DNF Duel.
my friend Blaze plays Strive religiously. I'm pretty sure he's been playing Johnny.
I could not get into that game to save my life.
Strive, you can get into Strive.
Couldn't do it. I tried so hard. Potemkin. I tried Eno. I just couldn't do it. But yeah, I hope, Matt, to close to what you were saying, I really do hope the game gets better. I want to like this game. I really do. But NRS should be ashamed of themselves right now for letting the game be released with so many problems.
Yeah. Absolutely. Ops, do you have like any kind of like anything you want to get off your chest about this game?
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the game with assists, I knew that it was going to be a competitive mess. There's a lot of people who, at least right now, well, not a lot of people, but there's people who have said like, oh, well, you know, there's certain, you know, you don't like certain parts of the game, but you haven't grinded the game yet. But yeah, dude, I played 4 different NRS games. Like, I've grinded certain fighting games. It's one of those things. I told my roommate yesterday that like, I will play a game and put time into the game if I feel like the skill level and the competitive level is enjoyable enough to where I feel like I can get better.
Yeah.
that makes any sense.
You're
There's
not,
some games I won't touch because it's just like the fundamentals. I don't want to learn them. Like I don't want to be like I will never play a game like, and it's like I'm not saying these players aren't good because they're amazing. They're great players, you know, all of them that play these games. But I will never play a game where you can air dash across the screen everywhere. Like I will just never play a game like that. That's a perfect example of like how I feel about MK1. Like I just feel like the game has so many things where it's just like I just don't want to play it because I don't want to get to that. I don't want to get to that skill level because I feel like I'm still not going to enjoy the game. If that makes any sense.
I do sort of dislike the feeling that whatever I do with my character is only important with an assist. I don't really personally care for that. Like, I feel like the assist I choose is so much more important than how I'm playing with that can be more important than how I'm playing with the character. Like at the end of the day, like it's just like right now I'm like, I have 3 cameos to choose from, and I still don't know which one is good. Like which one I would fit me and how I want to play.
Probably just choose Cyrax or Serena.
See that is boring. Why would I just want? I want to.
No, you're right. You're right.
I don't
you're
like
right,
that.
Though. Yeah, you're 100%
have fun with
right
Shijuku,
about that.
just like infinite lab.
Yeah, but then you're gonna get hit for 50% and then not enjoy the game. That's
True.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
But again, I want to go back to what Phil said originally. I really, because I feel like a lot of the times when I say this, people are on they instantly think, oh, the game's not fun. No, with certain matchups, the game is really fun. Like I'm sure Phil had a lot of fun playing Sindel versus Smoke. Like that sounds like a matchup that would be fun to play. But I'm not looking to have fun playing Katana versus freaking Johnny Cyrax. That doesn't sound fun. 8-frame reversal. He can duck under your fireball, hit you, then put you in the corner, and then you're stuck in a block infinite for 20 years. I'm not looking to play that. That doesn't sound fun. Doesn't feel fun.
Or you know, playing against Shang Tsung and just getting fireballed. All like, you know how he like does, you've seen other people do his fireball like loop or whatever it is. He's like,
oh, you're talking about the combo, the one where he combos off. Do you know that combo is like 30 seconds long or something?
Honestly, it became a 1-player game, man. He makes it.
It's a while.
And it doesn't even really do that much damage. I mean, it does like accumulative damage, but it's like still, it feels longer because it's really just, you know what I mean, not doing that much, but.
That's how they Shang Tsung players beat you that way, by the way, too. They'll get the life lead and then they'll do that combo and the combo lasts 30 seconds.
And they just time you out.
You just get timed out.
It's like Street Fighter.
Like MK1 just doesn't value your time.
Street Fighter 4 timer scam.
That's where I'm at. If a game doesn't feel like it values my time, why should I put my time
into the game?
It?
Yeah.
Like, there's no return on investment here. It's just
So Quint, did you have any sort of like last thoughts you wanted to get off your chest before we close out here? And then after this, I want to actually get your guys.
Fix your goddamn game. That's my closing thought.
Ed Boon, fix your game.
What else do you need to say?
Ed Boon, take like a break from the troll posts for like a week, and you can fix the whole thing. It'll be great.
Yeah, man. What if you guys are gonna give this a rating of like a 1 out of 10 right now in its current state? What would you give it?
On what side? I have to rate
the
competitive.
Oh, okay.
And no, I have to rate the competitive and the single player separately.
Yeah, go ahead. I think
so.
However you want to do it.
Single player, I'm probably at like a 7.5. Because it's pretty fun, but there's not a lot of meat there, surprisingly, especially when they were talking about like how they're gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be an amazing single player experience, and then the evasions happen and you're just like, this is the single player experience.
Are you talking about Invasion? Because I don't even put that into my realm of thought when I think of the single player.
That's in my realm of thought.
It is so boring. I don't want to like. I am so mad that I have to like sit, like I just want to play the game, and then I'm like, oh well, I gotta get that drip though, and I gotta get Havoc. I gotta get Havoc.
Soul Calibur's like little like story invasion type things. Those were done way better and a long ass time ago.
Just give me a shop and let me earn
yeah,
points by
like-
playing online, and I will be
I'm at
happy.
like a 7.5 for single player, and honestly, in the current state of like the online competitive, I'm at like a 6.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't. It's just not fun in
Okay.
90% of cases. When it is fun though, it's a blast.
I think it's-
super cool. The combo like flexibility that we didn't have in MK11 is here in MK1, and that feels really nice to have back. But the game's just so incomplete and so poorly balanced. Characters are crying out for buffs while other characters are just drinking up every single like power in the game. I don't know. It's just it's insane. I don't understand the game.
Phil, do you think you have a solid rating on it? If you don't, hey man, you don't have a rating. It's all good.
I don't think I do. I can give you a different rating from a different game.
Sure.
To give you an idea. The reason I didn't give Street Fighter 6 a perfect score was because I felt their story was lacking in their story mode.
I think that's
gave
fair.
it like a high 8.
Yeah.
Or like a high 8 is what I would have given Street Fighter. If I reverse that thought process and I give Mortal Kombat the points just for the story, it's not really high. So I don't think I can give it higher than a 6.
Yeah, same. Actually, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't even know. I think it'd be like mid 5s to be fair, but like and this, my opinion, can change in like a year if they fix some things with the game. But like right now, it's just gross to me.
But cool stuff though, Phil. But cool stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I could knock another point off.
I played
for
Injustice
lack
2
of cool
yesterday.
stuff.
So I've already went back to my fighting game.
Oh damn.
And that's what I encourage you people to do. If you're not digging the game that's popular, go play your game.
I've been playing more Tekken 7. I don't know. It's still fun to me.
But Cyrax blows up the world.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh!
I've literally been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Trying to
Get
get
those
the master.
synchro pendulum thingies
Getting-
going.
Like that I think that says a lot about the game too. Like the fact that I competed heavily in 11. 1 comes out and I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking about it, and I was like, I watched my friend Plus today whiff a jump in and get punished and lose the game for it. Like, it's, like why did the jump in whiff? I'm like saying, like, I'm looking at it like, what? Like, what happened? What caused the jump in to, like, it's just those things. It's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna play Yu-Gi-Oh, man. Like,
Yeah, he just yells Yamu,
Man,
and then he
that
just
is
like.
a poor state of a game when you choose Yu-Gi-Oh! over it.
He lives in the heart of the cards. Do you have a rating for it there, Ops?
do I have a rating?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't play the story mode, so I can't put my input on that, but I would definitely say, like, and okay, so it's not necessarily a rating, but it's more like, so we as an NRS community, just kind of just speaking to the NRS community, we need to stop praising game design where it existed before and it was removed and now it's put back in the game, and that's like this revolutionary thing. Like, we got to stop doing that. Like, as an NRS community, like we can't be like, oh, NRS, I'm so glad that you guys allowed jailing back in the game. Jailing is when, like, if you hit someone with a plus frame, they're considered jailed, which means they can't do anything, right? Like, they can't armor, they have to block. That's their only option, right? They took that out in 11 because of flawless blocking. And like, everyone's like, yes, jailing's back. I'm so glad. Now you got to hold the pressure. And I'm like, dude, but jailing was in MKX.
Yeah.
It was in MK9. It was in the game. It's well, technically in Injustice, you just combo them if you do a normal, but it's in those games. So like, I just want us to look at it from a very objective way. Huh? What's up?
People do normals in Injustice? I'm pretty sure both just sit full screen and throw things at each other.
My main is one of the only characters that doesn't have a projectile, so no. I play Cheetah. My girl Cheetah does not use projectile.
Oh, she's not a cheetah. I get it.
But yeah, I would say, just kind of if I were to put a number on it, I mean, it's hard to, just strictly based off the fact that, like, when they put things back in the game, I want to use those things to be like, okay, the game is decent, right? But like, at the end of the day, I can't really judge how good the game's gonna or how good the game is, because a lot of those things that I like that are in the game were in MKX or MK9. See what I'm saying? Like it's like it's hard to kind of make that decision, because if I were to take those things and put those in 11, I would just rate 11 way better.
I mean,
like,
but so like I mean, the problem is we're kind of trying to rate it for right now. Like how you feel. Do you now? I'll put it this way. Why don't we change this? As someone getting into fighting games, as someone who maybe has played fighting games before, do you feel that someone should buy this game right now?
No.
Okay.
No.
I think it needs more time in the oven, personally.
Not on PC, maybe on console.
Okay.
But not on PC. I would definitely say get it on console. If you wanted to get the game, get it on console.
For $70. For $70 though. Also, kind of at
not
another
a
level.
$70 game.
Wait for the first sale and then buy it only on console. That's what I'll say. You better be getting a sale for it because it's not worth $70. And then
just wait for Ultimate for like $40.
Oh man.
Just wait for it.
Yeah, if you're not a hardcore player, I would say probably buy it. Probably don't buy it unless like it's like 60 or 50 bucks. I wouldn't buy it for the full 70. Like because what Street Fighter was $60, right?
Yeah.
Was it 60 or 50? Because I got the.
It was 60.
Okay, yeah. So I would honestly just buy Street Fighter.
Yeah, I mean right now
it's a more complete game.
Yeah. It's more fun.
It's a more competitive game. Like it's. I'll just sing praises of Street Fighter instead. Can we just forget about MK and just talk about Street Fighter?
Next time.
That's kind of the final. That's kind of like what I want to put my final opinion on. I do think that one thing that MK does have a lot of energy towards is its staying power. So I do think, like, at least competitive wise, let's say you're a casual player, you want to get into fighting games, blah blah blah, right? Street Fighter and MK are the games to get. You know what I mean? Like even though right now it might not be worth it, it's not like you're spending. Sorry, DNF. It's not like you're spending like $50 on DNF Duel and then like in a few months no one's playing the game. You know what I mean? It's not like that where it becomes a Discord fighter in a few months, right? So that is one benefit that Mortal Kombat does have.
A month ago, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I mean, personally, if I want to talk about bang for your buck right now, I actually think Pocket Bravery.
About Strive too.
Pocket Bravery is like literally the best game you can buy for $20 and yes,
support indies.
It's not a perfect game by any stretch of the mean, but man, is it for $20? You can't go wrong, and they're working on it a lot, and it's a fantastic game.
They're working on it every day. I load up that game and get a patch like every couple days.
Yeah,
they're on the grind. They want this thing to work
for real.
So like support them.
100%. And those guys, I went into I'm a part of their Discord, and they're all super nice and very helpful, and the game is growing and getting better. But Ops, where can people find you, man?
I guess right now on YouTube. I mean, I'm just kind of a video idea comes to my mind. They could probably find me on YouTube right now. That's where I'm making most of my content. I do or occasionally make content on TikTok. I have taken a slight hiatus just because of some life stuff, but YouTube would probably be the best place right now.
So youtube.com/opsoldier?
Yeah, just OPS Soldier, I think should be. I don't think there's a underscore on that one. So yeah, that's where they can find me.
Awesome.
Probably type in Op Soldier MK11, it'll pop
up. Phil, where can people find you, man?
Look up at Phil, of course, or at the Phil, of course. I'm pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm adding you on MySpace right now.
Finally.
That's not there. I can tell you, I'm not on MySpace. I don't think my old account's there anymore.
Hold on.
MySpace definitely exists.
I don't even think my old. No, I know my, because I actually I went full Facebook and I deleted my MySpace account like in 2007. So
no, they still have your data. You know it.
Yeah.
You can activate it.
Everyone has our data.
Everyone has your data. Yeah. I don't want to give out my ID.
Wow.
That's a shame because it's everywhere.
Quinn, where can people find you, man?
Well, I'm on a bit of hiatus from streaming, but normally, twitch.tv/quintessencehd. Other than that, on the podcast, it's just been a rough time, so I've been chilling.
Yeah, man. Well, guys, this has been the Backlog Podcast number 64. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.